Welcome back to Military Tensions News. During President Marcos Jr.'s visit to Washington, defense and security discussions stood as a cornerstone of his diplomatic engagement, reflecting a calibrated response to growing tensions in the West Philippine Sea. The U.S. reaffirmed its unwavering support under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth explicitly stating that any armed attack against Philippine forces, including Coast Guard units in the Pacific, would activate American commitments. This assurance came with strategic reinforcements, a push for modernized joint military infrastructure in Palawan, deployment of next-generation missile systems, and unmanned surveillance platforms tailored to maritime conflict scenarios. Marcos welcomed these developments, framing them as necessary deterrents in a volatile geopolitical landscape. He also celebrated joint exercises like Balikatan and Australia's Talisman Sabre as transformative milestones for Philippine readiness and regional cooperation. Yet, he maintained a posture of diplomatic balance, stressing that while the alliance with the US is robust, engagements with China on non-security matters would continue, provided they serve national interest. The defense dialogue was more than tactical. It was a signal of Manila's shifting center of gravity in Indo-Pacific security architecture. The US made explicit commitments to uphold the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stating that the pact covers armed attacks on Philippine forces, aircraft, or public vessels, including the Coast Guard, anywhere in the Pacific, including the South China Sea. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s recent visit to the United States marked a defining chapter in the evolving narrative of Philippine foreign policy. Over 3 days in Washington, D.C., he leaned into both strategic affirmation and economic opportunity. His meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump showcased a theatrical reaffirmation of alliance, with Trump calling Marcos a tough negotiator and praising his leadership, a moment laced with both diplomacy and personal flattery. On defense, discussions centered around the West Philippine Sea, where both nations pledged deeper coordination and infrastructure investment under the Mutual Defense Treaty. Marcos also courted private sector powerhouses like Cerberus, KKR, and key tech executives seeking capital to ignite infrastructure and industry growth. Yet the visit wasn't without controversy. His decision to skip a meeting with Filipino-American communities amidst rising deportations and detentions under Trump's immigration push sparked criticism that he had sidelined the diaspora's struggles. The trip unfolded as a deliberate balancing act, an effort to elevate global stature while navigating the domestic fallout of pragmatic compromises. So, after this, How do you think the next chapter in territorial defense in the West Philippine Sea would play out? Against China, who is a behemoth and a much powerful country militarily and economically, how would the US and its allies, including the Philippines, would counter future Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea? Is it already ripe to say that the US is ready to deploy more advanced defensive weaponry to various islands in the Philippines? Give us your thought in the comment section, and please do like, share, and subscribe for more military tensions news.